wonderful song, Walk Like a Man, Talk Like a Man. Well, how about Walk Like a Woman, Talk Like a Man? Ray Davies penned Lola as the result and inspired by the band's manager, the Kinks manager, having spent the entire evening dancing with a transvestite. A little bit of confusion with him, but he was a little bit too inebriated to know the difference. The song became a huge hit, #2 in the UK, #9 in the States, and actually made the Rolling Stones Top 500 list. Here's a wonderful tune, our relaxed selection of the day, the Kinks, Lola. All right, let's get started with the chords you need for Lola. Now, I counted 10 in all. There are going to be some riffs and some extra little bits and whatnot we're going to add as we progress through the lesson. But to start out with, let's talk about those 10 chords. You're going to need an open C chord, an open D chord, you need an open E, an open A, and then a little A sus. So just to modify the open A there, just take your third finger and add it to the second string, 3rd fret. So there's A sus. Okay, you're going to need a B7 chord. You're going to need an F♯7 bar chord. That's just like an F# bar chord. What we're going to do is just pull away the pinky finger from that chord. Okay, you need a B bar chord, that formation. And then for the little bridge section, along with that B bar chord, you also need a G♯7. That's the same as the F♯7. We're just going up 2 frets there. Again, no pinky. And finally, we need a C# minor bar chord, which of course is played like an A minor, but in this case we're barring the 4th fret and moving the A minor shape up to there. Okay, so very, very quickly through those again. Open C, open D, open E, A sus, you need a B7, an F♯7, a B bar chord, a G♯7, and a C# minor. It sounds like a lot, but when we actually put them into the song, it's not as overwhelming as one would think at this point. There are the chords for Lola. All right, that signature intro, I was watching a video the other day with Ray Davies, and he just was kind of fooling around on stage with a huge audience, and he just kind of went. And then he stopped, and the whole crowd went crazy because he was teasing them into thinking that they were going to start the song, then said they weren't going to play the song, and then they said, all right, we'll play the song. And of course, everybody went crazy and sang along, which is what I'm hoping you guys will do. So that signature intro again is. And that's just C, 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 D, D, D. And you could strum this back and forth, but I like the attack of going all down on this. Okay, once we get past that, the first verse consists of that okay, so it's just going to be E, A, and D, and then E, A sus. But what we're going to do here is we're going to kind of pick through it. We're picking notes here rather than strumming full chords. The first verse is introduced that way. It's very subtle and kind of quiet. I met her in the club down in El Salvador, where they drink champagne and it tastes just like cherry cola. She walked up to me and she asked me to dance. I asked her name and the dark brown voice she said, la 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 la. Okay, you see the progression there? I put them up on the screen for you so that you know where the chords are going. And as I say, that first verse is, you take a look at the right hand there, we're just going to pick through it a little bit. I met her in the club down in El Salvador, where they drink champagne and it tastes just like cherry cola. That's the arpeggioing through the chords rather than... Later on we'll get into this. We'll get into that later on, but the first verse you're going to pick through a little bit like that. I met her in a club down in El Salvador, where you drink champagne and it tastes just like cherry cola. C-O-L-A cola. She walked up to me and she asked me to dance. I asked her her name and in a dark brown voice she said, Lola, la 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 Lola, la 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 Lola. Okay, let's talk about that strumming pattern when we get into a regular verse after the arpeggioed first verse. And there's some neat things that we do here. Okay, so we're still transitioning between but we're doing some little connecting things, and the first thing we're doing here is, and that's just sliding down from an E chord, an alternate E chord, which is just the D chord. You can do it this way, and that gives you that extra note. Gives you that extra fourth string note. Or if you just can concentrate on strumming the top three strings, you can do it this way. And that's just taking the D chord, sliding it up to the fourth fret. Easier way to do it. And that's another little connector there, is just a quick little change from the D chord. By lifting the second finger off, I make it a D sus2, and then back to the E chord. So the two connectors are okay. So if I were playing through a verse, it would look and sound like this. Well, I'm not the world's most physical guy, but when she squeezed me tight, she nearly broke my spine. I'm not dumb, but I can't understand why she walked like a woman and talked like a man. La 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 let's take a look at that same verse playing, showing the right hand. Well, I'm not the world's most physical guy, but when she squeezed me tight, she nearly broke my spine. Oh, my
have this one great riff to teach you that comes at the end of. You know what it is. It comes up to here and goes. Okay, and it's repeated over and over again throughout the song. So it starts here. We're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's on the 9th fret of the 4th and 3rd strings. We're going to bar that with our first finger. Okay. Next is a bend up on 11 with the 3rd finger. Back down to 9 with the 1st finger, and then we're going to go down that scale. There's the only variation there. I go to the 12th fret there on the 6th string. Notice when I play up from 9 to 11 on the 5th string, when I go to the 4th string, I catch 2 strings there. I catch 4 and 3. So the whole thing really slowly. That's the riff that's repeated throughout the song. Well, we're doing a great job of learning all the different little pieces, and we're going to put them all together and solve the puzzle here with a playthrough later on. We're going to go to that B7 section now, which is, well, we drank champagne and danced all night. It also comes up later again, well, I left home just a week before. It comes in twice, and it's just simply this. Well, we drank champagne and danced all night. Back into the very end of a verse there. So this kind of takes the place of the first half of a verse. Alternative chording here. B7 to F sharp 7 to A for 2 bars. And we'll take a look at what the right hand's doing there. Tail end of that, as if it's a verse. Okay, the last little musical bit is this sort of little frenzied section. I pushed her away, I walked to the door. And it cycles through A, E, and the B bar chord. I pushed her away, I walked through the door. I fell to the floor. So 3 times through A, E, and B. And then the 4th time it's, I got down on my knees. And that is a little trickier. You got to go from the open E to a G sharp 7 to a C sharp minor. This is why there are 10 chords in this song, because we throw some extra ones in here. Okay, so if we play through this, when we end it, it's pretty frantic. It ends on the B chord. That's the way that I wanted to stay, and I always wanted to be that way for the Lola. So this is, again, this is another example of dynamics. It gets kind of frenzied on that B chord, and then it comes right back soft down, just as if it's the first verse again. So let's just play through that. I'm going to sing falsetto here, so I'll try and hit these notes later on when we do the playthrough, but for right now we'll just do falsetto. I pushed her away, I walked to the door, I fell to the floor, I got down on my knees, and I looked at her and she agreed. Well, that's the way that I wanted to stay. Met her in a club down in Old Soho, where you drink champagne and it tastes just like cherry cola. C-O-L-A cola. She walked up to me and she asked me to dance. I asked her her name and in a dark brown voice she said Lola. La 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 Lola. La 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 Lola. I'm not the world's most physical guy, but when she squeezed me tight, she nearly broke my spine. My Lola, la 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 Lola. Well, I'm not dumb, but I can't understand why she walked like a woman and talked like a man. My Lola, la 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 Lola, la 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 Lola. Well, we drank champagne and danced all night under electric candlelight. She picked me up and sat me on her knee and said, "Dear boy, won't you come with me?" Well, I'm not the world's most passionate guy, but when I looked in her eyes, well, I almost fell for my Lola. La 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 Lola. La 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 Lola. I pushed her away. I walked to the door. I fell to the floor. I got down on my knees and I looked at her and she at me. That's the way that I wanted to stay, and I always wanted to be that way for my Lola. La 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 Lola. Girls will be boys and boys will be girls. It's a mixed up, muddled up, shook up world, except for Lola. La 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 Lola. Well, I left home just a week before, and I'd never ever kissed a woman before. But Lola smiled, she took me by the hand and said, "Dear boy, I'm gonna make you a man." Well, I'm not the world's most masculine man, but I know what I am, and I'm glad. So is Lola. La 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 Lola. La 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 Lola. Lola. La 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 Lola. La 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 Lola.
All right, fine tuning for Lola. Well, when I watched the video, I did see the veins in Ray Davies' neck sticking out, and now I know why. If this becomes troublesome to sing for you, don't be afraid to drop it down an octave vocally. We had some arpeggio in this song. We certainly had some dynamics and some great chord changes. There you go, Lola, the Kinks. Please know who you're dancing with. We'll see you next time on Song Mentor.